Hi guys, back again. Just recorded a 15-minute video and had the TV playing in the background. So obviously copyright reasons, I had to delete it. Start again. Anyway, so it was just about basically the M3 today. If you've been watching the recent videos, you'll see that we've been doing bits and bobs. We bought this car for a good price, but bits and bobs have just weren't working and stuff had been removed. Um, so we had a problem with the sound system. Just to recap for anybody new, we had when it arrived, we had an issue with the iDrive. Just wouldn't switch on. Just wouldn't work. We checked the communication cables, and we saw there was a problem between the front seat on the passenger and the back of the car. We thought it was behind rear quarter panel, something like that. So anyway, I looked online that day and I found out that there's modules in the boot. So well, we had we knew the amps in the boot, but it's at the back. Now, when the amp's another issue. When we found the amp, it was sat in water because this car has the individual sound system. The individual sound system gives you a separate amp. The amp sits in the boot in this recessed place at the back on the left hand side. This gets water in it. This area it's prone to flooding. This had flood, and it was sat in water. So I got the amp out, dried it off with an air dryer, give it a right good dry. I didn't hold out any hope. We plugged it back in, but we didn't know until we got it on if it were going to work. But and they were wanting to replace it. You were talking for there no new ones, so for second hand you were talking £500-600 just for the amp. I mean, these guys are wanting over £1,000 for the full individual system. That's how in demand they are. People want the individual on them. It's a really good. It's a really good system. It's better than any newer stuff because it's a lot louder. It's the individual on the e92 is 850 watts. I think the Amon Cardon on the 435 I had, I think it were only about 600 watt, and that were a good system. That were loud. So yeah, it's louder, um, but yeah. So getting back to the modules, so we looked at the modules and it looked a bit rusty. These modules, if you pull the mat out of the back of your car, in the boot, sorry, at the back end of the boot, you'll see the modules. There's a few. It depends on what spec your car is, on what modules you have, and I think there's stuff like DAB or sat nav modules, things like that. One of them, I'll put a picture up, but one of them looked really rusty, which is unusual for it to be rusty and be where it was, because it shouldn't get wet. But it must have got wet at some point. So we thought that's the problem. So the electricians came down, they've been on it today, and they've tested everything. Everything seems to be fine, which was a surprise. So anyway, found out something had been unplugged. One of the modules has been unplugged and there was slight damage on one of the wires. They plugged that back in, repaired the wire, switched it on, works, perfect. Amps working, amps pumping sound through speakers. It's couldn't have asked for more really. It's unbelievable. It'll cost money in diagnosing it, but the actual repair cost. Only one issue, small, is this screen isn't working. We don't know if it's a cable. I've ordered a new cable to test the cable, or if it's a screen. I can get a screen for 65 quid. That's least to me. Whereas I'm more than delighted, for the amp to be working because I didn't hold that much hope for amp. I were hoping, but I thought a bit of water it's going to have done it. I'm really surprised, to be honest, that I'm really surprised that it's working, and as easy as that, an easiest fix as it was, because I just thought it'd be something. All I can imagine is they spilt something in the boot that's got rusty, maybe stopped working, so they've unplugged it. Over time it's dried out and now it's working again, because electrics, if you dry them out properly, they can work. As long as they haven't gone rusty, you can dry them out and they will. If they're dried out properly, they will work. you know. So anyway, it's dried out luckily, so lucky to me. So we're gonna see. I'll check the cable on Tuesday. I'll do a little video of that, see if that fixes it. And also they're gonna put the subs in under the seat because the subs are missing. So I bought some new subs, some really nice ones. So we'll see how good they are as well. Then the other issue is the gearbox. So the gearbox. Anyway, we thought it was CAS not waking the gearbox up. So we changed the CAS. First one I got would just CAS won't work. We got another CAS, programmed it up to the car. We put this CAS in, and it's sending the signal out now, but it's still not lighting up. So the another CAS is all right, but the trouble is we're having to do one bit at a time, suck it and see, because unless you've built these systems, you don't really know what's doing what. You know, they're just that complex. It's beyond belief. So we know we've ruled out the CAS now. So we've had it plugged in. Well, so the electricians have had it plugged in, and it's coming up now. The gearbox is when we ask its VIN, when we talk to the gearbox, it's saying VIN number, and it says, so it should have the VIN for the car, so the gearbox is coded to the car. So the VIN should say, well, whatever your car VIN is, YMC, whatever it is, you know, that should be, that's what the gearbox should be telling you. Anyway, what it's saying is, if you have a look at VIN, it's saying 0000. So there's something amiss. We don't know if it is something unplugged from the gearbox, or well, we just don't we don't know. But we're gonna have to have a look. So the next stage now is we're sure now it's a gearbox itself, or it's a something on the gearbox module. So in the next stage, which I think we're doing on Tuesday, we're going to get the car up as high as we can, probably on axle stands, because the car's outside and we can't start getting it onto ramps because it's just be a nightmare to push it in. So we're going to have to try it. Be difficult, but we're going to have to just get it up outside, get underneath, and then we're going to have to try and drop the gearbox down to get to the modules. That's the only way. Well, it's the only thing we can try. And the reason we always thought there might be something with the gearbox, because when the car arrived, the exhaust, centre pipe of exhaust were missing. The one that goes, basically the bit that has the cat in it, and it goes to the back boxes. So, and I've actually bought one now. I've got an Evolve one, a second-hand one, but I've got an Evolve straight through pipe. So I'm looking forward to see how that is. But because at the minute it's really loud, there's no exhaust on at the minute. I'll get a video of that actually, you can see how loud it is. It's really ridiculous. But yeah, so getting onto the gearbox. So when the guys were looking it up underneath, it said it looked as it thought somebody had been at the gearbox. Whether they dropped it down, I didn't know. But it looked like somebody had tried to get to it, because they'd taken down one of the mountings, and a screw was missing on one of the mountings, or it was broken. But and other ones, they just thought that somebody had been to it, but moved, had it down maybe or something. They'd looked at it. But we don't know what they were doing, what their intentions were. Were their intentions of have they taken the gearbox out and put a duff one back in, sold the other one, put a crap one in? But why would they do that? Why would they waste the time putting it back in? Did they know about the gearbox problem? So they were looking for the fault, or what? Who knows? But we think it's an electronic issue, which is good really, because if it's an electronic issue we can hopefully fix it. If it's something mechanical, the trouble is a lot of these gearboxes now, some of the electronics are inside the gearbox, and that's the trouble that you have. So if it's electronics that are inside the gearbox, then it's going to be a new gearbox job. We do know the people that have had modules fail on the gearboxes. Now, as the car being stood so long with no power to it, done something to the modules where it's not registering. We're going to try and what we're going to do. I think first job we're going to try and see if it'll code, if we can get to talk to the gearbox. We know it's plugged in at least. But at the minute I don't think it's clear if it is plugged in or not, because it's giving us information that's, it don't make sense. It should have a VIN number on that gearbox, even if it were from a different car. It should have a VIN number on it, and it's just not set. It's just got nothing on it. So we're lost at that one, but we'll fix it. So yeah, so we'll see. So just next week's going to be the interesting week. If we can get them bits done, I mean the car then, once it's moving under its own steam, I can get the I can get the evolve pipe on, which I'm looking forward to. That's one of the nice things. We'll put the new wheels on, which I just ended up buying some standard M3 wheels. I was going to get competition, the CS wheels, but when I looked, everybody were putting them on. Do you know what I mean? And so I just thought I'm going to go original with it, keep it stock. So yeah, so we'll get them on hopefully. I've bought some new front calipers. Well, I haven't picked them up yet, but I'm getting some new front calipers for it, because the other ones don't look right good that are on it, so I'm just going to replace them straight off. Other than that, the car's more or less ready. We've just had the bumper sort of repainted and stuff. That's just ready for going back on. The plastics on the engines, I will show you a video when we go down Tuesday. They're just a horrendous mess. They've had them dipped in this crap carbon stuff. It just looks so tacky. It really does look so tacky. So anyway, we're going to get that off. Well, I'm just going to get a new plenum and that. I would have liked the carbon fibre plenum, like the Evolve do one and Carbonius I think do one, but they're too much. I can't really justify it, to be honest, because I don't think I'm going to keep the car that long. So anyway, we'll see. Who knows? My mind might have changed when I drive it. I might love it, so we'll see. But yeah, so we'll just have to see, guys. I'll keep you posted. Next video will be Tuesday next week, so stick with us.